Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, on this video, I want to share you the plot of 5 films that I had watched. The film is Missing Woman, Wedding Dress, Intouchables, The Blind Side, and the last Yinhe Busiban. Okay, let's go ahead into the video. Film Missing Woman. Jisun's daily life is hell working in TV series marketing, and also is undergoing a custody battle for her 18-month-old daughter Dayun. Jisun hires a nanny Hanmei. The baby and the nanny get along really well. One day, when Jisun gets back from work, she finds out both her nanny and baby disappeared. Thus begins her searching. She finally goes to the police station to lodge a missing person report, and the officer then is news to Detective Park, who then proceeds to call her lawyer. He finds it suspicious as well that her daughter disappeared just days after she was served a detention. He tells her how big the problem is, considering she doesn't even know Hanmei's personal details, and that her progenitor ID was fake, and even her phone was a burner phone. From all Jisun's journey to find Hanmei and Dayun, it is revealed that Hanmei once had a daughter named Jaeyeon, who is now dead, and she likes Dayun. Hanmei intends to kidnap and bring Dayun back to his country. The closest escape route seems to be a China bomb ship for 1 p.m. and everyone heads there. Hanmei is in illusion, thinking that Dayun is Jane. As she looks down at Dayun, she sees Jane instead, and finally realizing that she is not her daughter, she hands Dayun to Detective Park. Out of grief, Hanmei jumps off the ship as Jisun throws herself after her to save her. She catches hold of her, but Hanmei pulls her hand away from Jisun, and she goes farther and farther down to deep sea, cutting Janin quilt. As she goes down, she thinks back to the time that she was pregnant with Jane, and was telling her that she was going to make her the happiest baby in the world. Jisun wakes up in a hospital bed, her first thought being Dayun. The nurse brings her outside where she sees Dayun playing with the other kids. Jisun kneels down and calls for Dayun, but then starts tearing up when she gets up and turns toward Jisun, walking straight into her open arms and calling her Mama. Next, film Wedding Dress. The film tells the story of the single mother who works as Jaeyeon, a wedding dress designer and single mom, has only a limited number of days to live. Before parting from her younger daughter Sora, Jaeyeon wants to do everything she can for her, including making a beautiful wedding dress for Sora for the future. As her condition worsens, Sora finds out about the cancer and tries to fulfill her mother's wishes one by one in secret. This scene closes with Sora coming from homeschool. It was raining outside. Sora took out the umbrella he had prepared from the house. Before his mother died, he also forgot to bring an umbrella to school. Now, not anymore. Sora stepped under the rain with a smile. Before she died, her mother had prepared a special design for Sora's wedding dress. At the end of the film, Sora, who has grown up, wears the wedding dress that her mother has designed for her. Next, film Intouchables, the story of the friendship between the two men. Philip, a wealthy quadriplegic who owns a luxurious Polter particular, and his assistant Magali are interviewing candidates to be his live-in caregiver. Dries, a candidate, has no ambition to get hired. Dries returns and is greeted by Yvonne, Philip's idea, who tells him that he has been given the job of live-in caregiver on a trial basis, despite being interested in the job and his lack of professional experience. Dries does well in the caring of Philip, even if his methods are sometimes unconventional. Adama, Dries' younger cousin, who is in trouble with a gang, comes to face Dries at the Philip mansion on the pretext of delivering mail. Overhearing, Philip recognizes Dries' need to be supportive to his family and releases him from his job, suggesting he may not want to push a wheelchair all his life. This returns to his own neighborhoods, joins his friends, and manages to help his younger cousin. In the meantime, Philip has hired caregivers to replace Dries, but he is not happy with any of them. His morale is very low and he stops taking care of himself. He grows a beard and looks ill. Yvonne becomes worried and calls Dries back. Okay, the next film is The Blind Side. Michelle, the Big Mike, 7 years old, has been in foster care with different families in Oslo, Tennessee, due to his mother's drug addiction. And every time he is placed in a new home, he runs back to her. His friend's father, on whose his coach Mike has been sleeping, asks Barb Cotton, the football coach. Cotton gets him admitted despite his poor academic record. Later, Michelle is befriended by a younger student named Saint Tuhi. The school staff tell Michelle that his father has died, apparently due to an accident. One night, Lake Anne noticed Michelle walking alone on the road, shivering in the cold without adequate clothing. When she learns that he plans to spend the night hunted outside the closed school gym, Lei Anne offers to let him sleep on the couch in the Tuhi home. When Michelle appears to be hesitant to use his strength and size while learning to play football, from that moment, Michelle improves drastically. Well, enough to play at the college level. However, to do that, he must meet the minimum grade point average to get in, so the two hosts hire a private tutor for him. The outspoken and kind Mitsu. Michelle runs away before the interview is over and uncovers Anne about her motives for taking him in. He then proceeds to find his biological mother in Hart Village. Michelle tells graduate he chose Ole Miss because it's where my family goes to school. Michelle is accepted into college and says his farewells to the Tuhi family. And the next film is Yenhi Bu Sibang. At a press conference for the two astronauts about to go on the Shugong number 16 spacecraft, four-timer Gu Xinhe and first-timer Mai Fei, the latter's family is conspicuously not present. September 1990, as a young boy in the city of Dongpei, Ma Fei's father, engineer Ma Howen, had given him a glove made from a football. But during a splash ceremony for the opening of a bridge that Ma Howen has designed, the bridge had collapsed, tarring Ma Howen's reputation forever. 15 December 2019, after 57 days, the two astronauts are due to return to Earth in 3 days' time. Suddenly, however, all contact is lost with Jiuquan when some space debris damage the spacecraft's radio antenna. February 1991, Ma Howen has been convicted of negligence and sent to a remote prison, where his wife Xin visits and gets him to sign divorce papers. During his prison sentence, Ma Howen is bullied by fellow convicts. At home, his son Ma Fei is also bullied. With his father's encouragement, Ma Fei starts to study hard. Though Xinyu is appalled at what is going on at the high school, Ma Howen becomes friendly with Go Stianskiang, a young replacement teacher who believes in Ma Fei. Ma Howen tries to get his son to learn in a later way, not just read from school books, and to open his eyes to the world. He finally pulls him out of high school and educates him on the road. Though Mai Fei is almost drowned in a happy storms that separates the two of them. 16 December 2019, Ma Fei volunteers to go outside the spacecraft to inspect into the damaged antenna, without which they cannot return to Earth. Gu Xinhe forbids him, but eventually Ma Fei make his own unconventional decision, as his father has always taught him. Okay, sorry, just that all the stories of film. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.